There you go. They're probably filthy.
They look like
You look like a criminal.
it looks like I'm wearing like the Mr. Freeze goggles, like little like swimmer's goggles.
Are you saying I got a small head or you've got a big head?
I've got a melon. Too big for most hats. So, Mister, that's a 10-gallon hat and a 20-gallon head. That's me.
I wonder where people have stumbled across this video, whether it's YouTube or it's Instagram or it's Facebook. Stats would say Facebook.
Okay. I would say it's because you've just started that Pornhub account and started putting us up there.
That's a good point. Didn't think about that.
We should really do that. Like, we should just start uploading videos to Pornhub just to see what happens.
We could play tricks with these holes, these death holes.
I don't think we should need to do any porn content.
Oh, you
Just put up the normal content on Pornhub. I don't think there's any curation that goes on at Pornhub. Like, I don't think they watch it and go, hang on a second, this is not porn.
Could fuck us over in the future.
It could.
Just associating our name with one of those addresses.
You can't share it. You can't share it on anything. They don't let you share Pornhub videos, much to my disgust and dismay.
I mean, we don't have to do anything and people would wank over us.
So we're just our natural selves.
Hi, everybody. Glenn and Ben here from Good Movie Monday with a bit of a supplementary / bonus content video for you. We're going to react this week to Edgar Wright's new film, Last Night in Soho, which we saw recently. It's just been released, I think, last Thursday. So
yep,
now in cinemas everywhere.
Brand spanking new.
This is a film that's the reaction to it has not been as consistent as I would have thought it would be. People have been kind of on both sides of the fence with this one.
Yeah, right.
I loved it.
I thought it was great, although I do kind of can understand not the dislike, but a certain lack of enthusiasm when talking about it, because it is, as much as I enjoyed it, I thought it was a lot of fun while I was watching it, but afterwards I questioned whether I would watch it again, and now I think about it, I would.
Yeah,
but
at
the time I was like, I don't know if I'd ever go out of my way to watch this again. And once again, not that it was bad. It is very good and very entertaining. It's I don't know how to I don't know really how to process it.
I would definitely go back to it. I think it needs to be rewatched once.
Yeah,
I think because there's a lot of intricacy going on.
Look, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I missed actually. So rewatching it would definitely benefit.
So synopsis, and this is a spoiler-free video. The film is laced with things that you don't want to know unless you're watching it for the first time. I would think it's fair to say. But the synopsis essentially is about a girl that moves from the country to the big city being London, to attend a fashion design school.
Yep.
She moves out of her dorm facility just because she doesn't enjoy the party life, rents an apartment in Soho, and then once the first night she moves in there, she has the ability to essentially step back into the 60s.
Yeah, she kind of she's got some kind of paranormal abilities.
Yeah, she sort of and she connects with a dancer, a girl from the 60s. And then from there on, we won't say too much, only to say that she lives vicariously through this girl in the 60s. And when she wakes up every morning, assuming it's just a dream, apparently the events that took place in the 60s
are real. So and it starts off, she's super into it.
Yeah.
And then it starts actually happening. It stops happening only when she's asleep and starts happening when she's awake. And the things that happen to this girl get worse and worse and worse. And she starts really starts impacting her normal life.
And there is a certain social commentary at play that this is as far as I'll go with revealing that it is very much a men's world in the 60s.
Yes.
So it plays on that. And it's a film that was co-written by a female, and I don't think this movie could have been made exclusively by a bloke.
Yeah, by Christy Wilson Cairns.
Yes.
The person behind 1917, or one of them.
Her presence here is integral. I don't think they could have really.
Well, she had already. That's the way she got her start in the business was that she had a script that sat on the blacklist for a long time, which was a horror film about psychic resonances, or I think actually not psychic. They were sound. Sound doesn't. The idea that sound actually doesn't disappear. It's just we don't pick it up after it's gone.
White noise and all that kind of
white
stuff.
noise, yeah. And this person can, and so and that, without giving anything away, has a lot to do with the way that Thomasin McKenzie from
Well, she's from Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit is that's the big one that she's from.
And Leave No Trace is the other one that she's in.
I haven't seen that one.
Indie film.
Yeah, right. And it does have an all-star cast, but that's her kind of ability. But it does have a pretty good cast. Dana Rigg, I think it's Dana Rigg's last film.
Yep.
And she looks a lot better in this than she did in Game of Thrones.
She's great. in this.
She looks a lot healthier.
Yep.
She's great.
Matt Smith, who I don't like Matt Smith at all, but I thought he was actually really good in this.
He's pretty good. Terrence Stamp, who I didn't know was in it.
Yeah.
And he's pretty cool. And of course, the main girl who's from Queen's Gambit, who's now
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Anna
Taylor-Joy. That's right.
I prepared well by.
Oh, neither is prepared. 5 minutes before recording. What do you want to talk about?
Familiarizing myself with people's names, but and she's really good too. Like, she's great in all the 60s because she's the 60s character, and Thomasian.
Tamisian.
I can't pronounce her name. She's she's the current day one.
And speaking of that parallel between the two characters, the most amazing thing about this film for me watching it was the sleight of hand and the in-camera tricks that they did, where they had both characters occupying the same time and quite often in reflection. And you're thinking to yourself, that can't be digital. Like, they can't.
No, and Edgar Wright, you can actually go, I think, on the Hollywood Reporter or Variety, and he does reveal a lot of those tricks.
Because I'm assuming a lot of mirrors were actually planes of glass.
Yeah.
And you had her on the other side.
And they're just mirroring each other and stuff. But then there's a lot of
distortion and stuff in the mirrors too.
Yeah, when there's what was it Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde, where they do and that's the transformation scenes, but the camera goes away and the actor basically just steps aside and flips the thing, and
there is a lot of that, interchanging, but and that is just in the blink of an eye some incredible moments there where the real talent there comes from Matt Smith, particularly on dance moves where he's dancing with the one girl, and within the flick of a wrist he's dancing with another girl. Sure, the girls have to interchange, but he's the one on camera that have to make it look effortless.
Yeah,
and I was
react.
Blown away, and I was watching some of the staircase scenes where she comes down the staircase and the other girl's reflected, and you're going, okay, well, if you're a filmmaker, that's going to be a plane of glass, or not even glass, it's just going to be
in the middle of the stairs. Yeah,
but if you watch the characters in the background, they're slightly distorted the way a mirror does. Where your your eye line is not quite right with. I can't work it out.
Technically it's brilliant, and I guess the real star of the film is the soundtrack.
Huge.
It is a phenomenal kind of 60s. Collection of songs, and I am tempted to buy the soundtrack. I'm not a huge fan of Anna Taylor-Joy's cover of Downtown. I do like Cilla Black's version.
Yeah.
So that's going to be but it is pretty good, but different enough to make me go, every time she does it, because she performs it in the film.
Yeah.
Every time she does, you're just like, oh, can we just play the original? It really make me want to kind of just pause the movie, get out the phone, put on YouTube, and listen to the original version.
In the review I wrote for Stack with this one, I did liken Edgar Wright to sort of your filmmakers like Tarantino, for lack of a better name, or Guy Ritchie, where they're event movies. You anticipate this filmmaker's next film and it becomes like an event, so filmies talk about it like it's a pop star or something.
And I have to say, I thought this was the most kind of un-Edgar Wright film of his.
I contemplate where I'm going to put this in my list of Edgar Wright films, because I like it so much that I want to put it high. What ones do you bump down?
Yeah. But it doesn't contain any of the kind of visual tricks that he usually does.
Yeah.
There's none of that kind of Sam Raimi fast zoom.
Yep.
He's
maturing.
The stuff. It's a very different.
And he's leaned on another genre here, which, he's leaned on genres before. Mm-hmm. This is sort of more would you say, your Jello kind of influence?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, very much so.
And so he's researched those tropes, and played to those, and it makes it very different. And I think I'd probably rank this maybe his second best film, maybe third.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
what's your number one and what's your number two?
Hot Fuzz would be number one.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Maybe Shaun of the Dead, just for being what it was at the time.
Yeah.
But that's much more of the zeitgeist that surrounded it. Whereas this one, I had more fun with this than the others. Like, I didn't love At World's End. I didn't love Scott Pilgrim like other people do. You know,
I have to say, I'm totally with you on At World's End. The first time I saw it, I was completely underwhelmed by it.
Yeah,
very, very disappointed. But every rewatch, it gets better and better and better. And like the last time I was watching it, I was like, this is actually really fucking good.
it's not a bad film, and I can easily watch it. But I prefer what's the one that Franco did with This Is the End, I think it was.
This Is the End is fantastic.
Yeah, same kind of concept though. Like, wouldn't you say?
No,
No,
I wouldn't.
But, see, I would, but okay, that's all right. Well, you decide. You let us know what you think. But anyway,
we'll get Simon. Simon will let us know. He'll comment under it, going, "You're both fucking insane."
No, he'll agree with me.
Yeah.
There's a bottle of gin in it for you. Not much more to add to that. I just I do recommend people see it theatrically. It's good movie to watch with an audience.
It's definitely a theatrical film. Yeah, totally. And there's a lot of funny. There's a lot of like comedy in it too, which I wasn't particularly expecting. Although I suppose I should have, considering it's Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
And I thought one thing I did want to bring up is that all of the stuff that happens in the fashion school, all that kind of stuff, and her relationship with her classmates and her roommates and stuff. It's all stuff that you've seen in other films, so much so that a couple of points in the film, I was like, okay, let's just stop with the thriller stuff. I really do want to watch just her. Yeah, I just want it to be like a fun
Mean Girls
kind of teen drama, Mean Girls type movie. Like, I just want to watch that.
Yeah,
because they're all so good. Everyone in it is so good, and you feel so much for her.
Yeah,
like you really do want her to succeed, and and like the Mean Girls are so bitchy and so cliquey, and she's so nice and timid. And you're just like, I just really want you to fucking to show them.
Not only to show them, but I want to come back with you and make sure you're all right. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's so likable.
Yeah.
But one thing I might add that I do have a few problems with the film, but I can't talk about them because they would absolutely ruin it. So I'm not without reservations, but overall I think it's a pretty damn good film.
And I have to say, it is one of the best films in terms of, like, I really do like, I watch a lot of travelogue stuff. I watch a lot of Nine Life. On the daily, and as the kids say, and that's the footage of her coming from. I can't remember where she does say where she's from, what part of the country, like Warwickshire or something, like one of the kind of escape to the country type locations, and she comes to London. But all of the stuff of her looking around London, like it's the first film I've seen where you really do get that kind of sense of awe of coming to this amazing city and having no experience with it at all. Like, it does make that Soho, London whole area seem like super cool, and yet also like almost overwhelming.
But incredibly sinister too.
And yeah. Well,
I mean, that right from the start, the context is laid there with her grandmother saying, like, be careful of London,
be careful of the city. Yeah, and then the taxi driver who drops her off and stuff.
Yeah. Like, anyway, thumbs up from us. That's trademark. Don't do it. And we'll catch you on
fingers up.
Fingers up.